We are taking a live look outside the CBS Broadcast Center in New York City, where tonight Senator J.D. Vance of Ohio and Minnesota Governor Tim Walz will square off in the first and likely only vice presidential debate.
Joining us now to discuss it is our panel of political experts, former Chicago Alderwoman Leslie Hairston and former Illinois Republican Party Chairman Pat Brady. Great to always see you guys.
Good to see you guys again.
All right.
It ain't the United Center, but it's fun.
I know. We always have a good time.
You look out on Daily Plaza.
Right. This isn't a bad view either. Okay, so let's start, Leslie. I pose this to you and then to you, Pat. What are you actually looking for from the candidates tonight?
Well, I think we're looking for them to reintroduce themselves again. We're also looking to see what their positions are on issues that are important to us as the voters. So things like the economy, reproductive rights. I think those are going to be some of the things that we're looking to see.
Okay.
I think that they both need to look presidential because maybe someday, God forbid, they might end up being president in the next term. So they both need to pass that could this person be president test. But I think tonight is going to be very interesting because J.D. Vance is a very accomplished debater. He's a very smooth guy and he's a very good attack dog. Tim Walz is not great. He's very folksy, but it's going to be interesting to see if he can put that folksy persona into a 2-minute answer.
They're both going to exchange criticism. We know that. How strong should it be, Leslie?
Well, I don't think that Vance should be very, very much on the attack. I think that does not do him well. He's been either so far on the left or so far on the right. We don't know which one we're going to get tonight. So I'm really interested to see that, and then to just how mean he's going to be.
Yeah, he's a master pivoter too. If you've watched any of his previous debates when he was running in Ohio, he knows how to get himself out of those jams. But you're right. Is Walz going to talk about policy, and is Vance going to talk about eating pets? Yeah. I mean, there's a lot, and there's a lot at stake here.
Well, that's very disturbing to me that this would, I mean, something that is so untrue, that you have somebody that could possibly be running this country that just perpetrates and just says things that aren't real. That is very disturbing. Well, so I think the voters are going to be looking at that. Is this someone you want to actually run the country if they have to?
I agree, but he's got an audience of one, and he's been very good at mimicking the Trump attacks. I think the risk to him, though, there's only one Trump. Trump's the only one that gets away with those attacks, and Vance is as good at delivering them, but I think he pays for it politically because he's the most popular vice presidential pick in my life. But
polling actually is showing that right now he's not polling particularly well.
No, he's horrible. Yeah, I think he's below Dan Quayle even, and insofar as a pick. Remember that was a bad one.
I just think people are tired of the meanness. People are tired of the lies. They just want somebody to talk to them and tell them what's going on and what they're going to do.
Well, these vice presidential debates, too, people say, oh, they don't matter. But if you go back and look at these debates, there have been some knockout moments. 92 with Lloyd Bentsen and Dan Quayle, you're no Jack Kennedy. 84. Each debate had somebody, had something that happened in it that is very interesting. And it didn't change the course of the election, but it made for very interesting political dynamics.
Right, so I think that's what we were all wondering, the impact really of it, because you can have those memorable moments, but does it really come down to the presidential candidates?
Well, it is the presidential candidates, but I think this is a unique opportunity because the way that this came about and the way that these candidates came, I think that it's important that people really are actually paying attention this time, not just the political junkies, but just the American public are actually looking to see what these candidates are saying.
Good to see you both.
See you.
Thank you. Well, CBS Evening News anchor Nora O'Donnell and Face the Nation host Margaret Brennan will moderate the 90-minute debate. You can watch it right here on CBS News Chicago live tonight beginning at 8 o'clock.